I think my biggest piece of advice would be to just focus on yourself. Your journey doesn't have to look the same as everyone else's. No one defines what life is supposed to look like. I'm Emily Lasser, and I'm from Fluvanna County, Virginia. I was born with hydrocephalus, and that has impacted my processing and basically developmental milestones all the way through. I was in early childhood special education, and that program is for students 2 to 5 years old. And at that point, ECSE students were not going to school on Wednesdays. And so my mom was an ECSE teacher as well. She also wanted me to be included with typical peers. And that's when Miss Peck entered my life and said yes. And that yes impacts my life even today. And there's still part of me that every time I see her, I'm that 4-year-old that was accepted and loved and was seen past all of the piles of paperwork she was handed. I would say I was a pretty confident elementary student, and I was willing to ask for my accommodations and be upfront with people. But then I got to middle school, and everybody says middle school sucks, but I feel like that could not be a more true statement for me. And one of my big things that still I think about almost every day was the fact that my teacher never really thought I was worthy, I guess. So I think that played a huge role in depleting that confidence that I had in elementary school. And I kind of shifted inwards and stopped asking for my accommodations. I stopped wanting other people to know about me, really. I got really sick in 8th and 9th grade, and I was out of school. And again, that hindered my self-confidence. And so I came back to school my sophomore year, and I had to rebuild. I also had Miss Kizer starting in sophomore year, and that honestly changed my high school trajectory. I don't think I would have done as well with high school if she hadn't become my case manager. There were times she would have really tough conversations with me of like, no, you're gonna do this. You can do this. She was always just willing to push me out of my comfort zone a little bit. Plus, she was always just there, willing to listen. And Miss Kizer never made me feel like a burden. In my resource class, there was this flyer for I'm Determined just sitting on my desk. And I came up to Miss Kizer and I was like, what is this about? She was like, Emily, I really think you need to do this. The I'm Determined program gave me the tools and gave me the confidence back that I needed to speak up for myself and eventually for others as well. High school is high school, and there were times that I didn't want to be there, and then there was times that were really great. I actually did 5 years of high school, but like I said, my freshman year, I was at the hospital more than I was at school. So I didn't have those experiences, and there was huge gaps in what I had learned, but it turned out okay. I survived it, and I was able to graduate with an advanced studies diploma. And then I went to college at the community college in Charlottesville, and had like a mental breakdown and like dropped out of class, stopped showing up. So I wasn't doing anything. And I was still living at home, and my mom said, you have got to get out of this house. And she actually was a teacher in this building, and she was like, you should come substitute. So I did, and then I realized I loved it, and I loved seeing the impact that I had on kids. And so I saw myself in those kids that I was supporting, and being able to reach them, honestly, was what drove me to continue to get this degree. I am sitting in my classroom, which feels phenomenal to say. I will be working with students that are placed in our general education preschool classrooms, and I will have students that have IEPs. They will come in here to receive specialized instruction. The next finish line would be December graduation, but after that I probably will go back for my master's, and the thing I've been looking at most is in K-12 special education. The biggest thing I'm looking forward to this year in my classroom is watching my students grow. I've always lived to the philosophy of like, I'm just me, because people have always said like, I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you have gone through surgery after surgery. That's just my life. Like, I have no other choice. I hope it's a learning experience for other people, because I feel like at 15, I had this image of what my life was gonna look like. So would I have seen myself as a teacher, say, 15 years ago? No. But I absolutely love it, and I'm so excited to be able to make that same impact on children that teachers in my life have made.
The VCU Center on Transition Innovations is funded by the Virginia Department of Education.